All right, everybody, it's a Spa weekend for us in Formula One this weekend, and we've got the sprint qualifying to review today, the session that has set the grid for tomorrow's sprint race around Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps at Belgium. Let's have a look at all the main highlights, all the main talking points, the 5 things that we learned from sprint qualifying today around Spa-Francorchamps. So, Hamilton entered this race as one of the most successful drivers in the history of the Belgian Grand Prix. Only Michael Schumacher has won more of them, and Ferrari were also coming to this one with a lot of hope and expectation that this final upgrade package, this final significant upgrade package on their car would be the silver bullet to catapult them up the grid. But did it work? No, absolutely not. At least not in the hands of Hamilton anyway, who qualified all the way down in P18. He had a spin on his final lap going into the bus stop, and that did wreck a few other people's laps. But yeah, really, really bad for Hamilton, unfortunately, for today. He does have a chance of still getting points, you know, if his car has got good pace tomorrow. Charles Leclerc qualified in P4. Not a bad day for him, all things considered. So yeah, there is hope, there is pace in that Ferrari, but unfortunately way too inconsistent during this session. And the second thing we learned is that Antonelli also did a similar thing too. He unfortunately dropped it at Stavolo well before that, got into the gravel, and the session was pretty much over at that point. Unfortunately for him, he qualifies 20th and dead last. This is a guy that got sprint pole position at Miami earlier in the season. Now he has got last place. Hopefully for him, it's some sort of decent recovery drive, but to get into the top 8 from there, I think it's going to be a really, really big ask, to be honest with you. But to be fair, his more experienced teammate George Russell also struggled down in P13. A real flurry of fast laps at the end of SQ2 put him down out of the top 10, and he qualifies in 13th. Unlucky for him, unlucky for Mercedes as well. But on the positives, Haas did really well. They were both inside the top 5, I think, in SQ2, but they ended up in the top 10 overall, got through to the final shootout. Both Esteban Ocon and Ollie Behrman. Behrman putting his troubles at Silverstone behind him. Ocon putting the contact between the two of them behind them as well at the British Grand Prix. Very solid from the pair of them. Ocon in P5 and Behrman in P7. This is a track where Haas normally struggle around. They've always struggled around Spa-Francorchamps for some reason, but they really did impress today. Very solid for them, and both, as things stand, going to get some points in the sprint. Shout out to Gabriel Bortoleto as well for the 4th thing that we learned. You know, that Sauber looks very good in his hands over one lap. He qualified in 10th exactly. Very fast lap in SQ2 to get through to the final shootout, that 8-minute shootout at the end of sprint qualifying. His teammate Nico Hülkenberg all the way down. I think he was P19 in the end, something like that, maybe 17. Anyway, he was out in the bottom 5 anyway. But to be honest with you, that doesn't really matter, because the guy has a real habit of putting him some incredible drives throughout a race. It is only a shortened race tomorrow, only 15 laps instead of 44, roughly 1/3 distance of a regular Grand Prix is the sprint. So it will be a very big ask to see Hülkenberg even get close to the points at that point. We're not expecting any pit stops tomorrow, unless, of course, we have some rain, which is predicted. So we will see what happens tomorrow. But big question, last thing we learned, who got pole position? Who is starting on sprint pole position tomorrow? Oscar Piastri. Piastri put in an absolutely ridiculous lap. He looks so comfortable in this session. Well, I say that, he only just scraped through into SQ3 as it turned out because of the faster times. Lando Norris did top SQ2, but he had an extra lap to do that. Piastri, though, put in literally the fastest lap ever of Spa-Francorchamps, a new track record, a 1:40.5, almost under the 100-second barrier around Spa. That is ridiculously quick. Max Verstappen, great effort from him, P2. Norris, a little disappointing to be honest in P3, but all 3 of those guys have a good chance of victory tomorrow. Of course, we know that run down La Source, up Eau Rouge, over Raidillon and into Les Combes is one of the longest on the season. The slipstream going into there is absolutely massive. The 2018 race, for example, we were 4 wide there between the 2 racing points, Hamilton and also Vettel back in those days. So we can see some incredible things. It would not surprise me at all to see all 3 of those guys, Norris, Piastri and Verstappen, going side by side into turn 1. And with how robust and how wily Max Verstappen is, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see the guy guy leading at the end of the first lap. But will he be able to hold it round all 15 of them? We'll have to wait and see, guys, but I will be here to review all of the action in the sprint tomorrow. I'll probably be doing the review for that late on Saturday evening, just like the qualifying as well for the Grand Prix. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always if you want to see more like this, guys. Have a fantastic day around the world today, and let's hope for a great sprint race and a great qualifying session tomorrow. Who is winning though? Who is your money on? For me, it's probably going to be Oscar Piastri, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Max Verstappen, like I said, take the win or at least lead in the opening stages of the sprint. See you soon, guys. Have a great Friday night and have a fantastic weekend.